Welcome to Indian England News. Our guest today is Hema Gopalan. In life, it is never late to learn and for your passion. She is a perfect example, and we are going to talk to her about at this stage and phase of her life. She is going to have her Arangetram, dance Arangetram in November. We're going to talk to her what inspired her to do this and also her life journey. So again, Hema, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Mishra ji.
And
Very glad to be here.
excellent, perfect. So the first question is that the passion and learning is very important in life. And at this stage, you decided to go and do the Arangetram, and that too for dance, which really needs a lot of physical balance and composure and strength and all this stuff. So the first question to you is, what really inspired you for dance Arangetram?
I think my inspiration comes from the fact that I always wanted to learn. And in life, certain things you can only learn through a certain experience. And Arangetram journey is basically exactly what it means. It is a preparation for future learning. And just like we finished 13 years of education to get to higher education and so on and so forth, this is also that juncture where you can learn more. It gives you validity. It builds your own ability to know what you have inside you. It draws it out, and then you can work from there. So really, my motivation has been about learning. I've learned all my childhood, and life happens to everybody. And when I came here after I got married, you get involved in your life, higher education, having children, and then when those things were sort of behind me, I said, let's go back to what I really love.
So now again, my question is related again, is that many people say, I'm done with life and, that was a phase I wanted to learn. But you need some much deeper inspiration to really follow through your passion and say, I'm going to do this. Can you go a little bit more deeper into that? Or?
Yeah, I think when the basic driver is to want to be an active participant in your own life. Mm-hmm. And I never wanted to be a spectator. And I always want to make an impact for myself. I always wanted to be a good example to my children. And I think personally, my inspiration comes from my family. I mean, they've been through a lot of journeys. My grandparents lived in Burma, left Burma in a hurry, went to Lahore, left in a hurry again during independence. So I think some of that is in my genetics, where the ability to restart does not faze me.
Okay. So now, again, doing the Arangetram is very tough, very challenging thing to do. And you have to do a lot of preparation. So tell us a little bit about your routine, how much time you are spending in learning, and how challenging it has been for you.
I think the biggest challenge is not to listen to the noise around you. There will be people, including teachers, that will tell you that, look, this is super difficult. You're not a 17 or 16-year-old. You haven't really gone through the program, so to speak, for 8-10 years to get you here. That is really the only way to get there. And I always question that. Why will it take me 8-10 years? I've learned for, 13 years and I'm restarting. I'm not a fresh student. And so I always question that. It's not questioning authority. It's questioning status quo. Why must it be done this way? Why can't I do it this way? And the challenge was literally just to put that noise away and say, no, build a cocoon around you and say, just draw from your strength. And that really,
Excellent. And also I have noticed, because I think 5-6 years ago, we did an interview with you when you had done Spice Canteen,
Yes.
the thing. And that was also a very interesting concept, at that time. But even to do that, you had the courage to go to Cambridge Culinary school there, institute there.
Mhm.
So you learned there. And then, as we were talking off the camera, you said that you're also pursuing a law degree in the life sciences.
Yes.
So for me, I find it very inspiring that somebody who doesn't stop. If you want to do, you just go.
Mhm.
And so if you put all these things together, again, I'm coming back to inspiration. What happens to you when you do these things? And why do you do these things?
I think the inherent belief is that I want to learn,
Mhm.
and to find that one binding piece of information or knowledge that stitches everything together. One might ask why we are trying to find the theory of everything,
Mhm.
right? And the idea is that something will click. Something. It's a desire to want to know
Mhm.
what's beyond all of this,
Mhm.
and what might I learn from doing these disparate things. And I think a part of me has always wanted to be a scientist. A
Mhm.
part of me has always wanted to be a mother.
Mhm.
A part of me has wanted to be a teacher. A part of me has wanted to be a dancer. A part of me has wanted to be an artist. And so I have done all these things, and it takes time. You make time for that. And my occurring in the world has been to gather inspiration for those things.
Mhm.
So I think one might say, I don't go out in the world to give, but I go out in the world to take and come back and create beauty. And so my biggest inspiration is to create beauty.
Okay.
And how might I do it?
Excellent. Now, so you came to just talk a little bit of your background. You had your master's degree in accounting
Mhm.
in Mumbai.
No, I did my bachelor's
Bachelor's,
in India, and then I got married and came to the Boston area. And then I pursued a master's degree at Bentley.
Okay.
I'm a CPA. I started my career at PricewaterhouseCoopers. I've had a fantastic opportunity in the Boston area. I worked at a lot of startups, mostly biotech now, and I've been richer for it.
Mhm.
Never left this area. It's been 33 years. And to me, Boston is my soul city. I went from BOM to BOS, and this is the destination. So everything that I have built around me has been part of this greater Boston.
So what is the story behind you going to law school or learning law?
I think I would attribute it again to my family. When I was raised by my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, and my grandfather was a lawyer and accountant, a CA. And my grandmother said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to learn science. And she said, what, be a doctor? When will we get you married?
Mhm.
I said, whenever.
Mhm.
She said, no, I think you should follow in your grandfather's footsteps, do accounting.
Mhm.
And I was very adamant. I said, no, not accounting. I want to be an architect.
Mhm.
And she said, how difficult it is to get into those schools.
Mhm.
Well, I tried my luck, didn't happen. And I did accounting to follow in my grandfather's footsteps. And I always wanted to be a lawyer.
Mhm.
And when you're a little child, children would play house, and I would play office, and I would sometimes play a lawyer arguing in a court scene,
Mhm.
inspired by movies, of course. So I think, while doing a JD was no longer lucrative for me.
Mhm.
Being a CPA I knew, dangerously enough about law to say, well, why don't I do something in an industry,
Mhm.
in a sector of the industry that's really pushing, new boundaries. And for me, that opportunity came with Suffolk University.
Mhm. And now you're working as a controller at the life sciences or biotech company.
Yes, I consult now.
Okay.
I am currently consulting.
Mhm.
And I think that's great because the learning curve is always steep. It's fast paced. You're learning new people, new teams, and solving new problems.
Okay. So those of our viewers who are in the middle-aged and
Yes, I love that.
about the middle-aged, and they always wanted to do something, and somehow something stopped them. It was either the the spouse, or it was children, or the family, or the circumstances, or the job they had.
Yeah.
And it's still, somewhere that craving is there. Oh, I wish I had done this. What is your advice to them?
I think my advice to folks that want to live their life fully and wholly as they are is to stop limiting themselves. Your biggest hurdle is yourself. And I think we're animals of, we are controlled by what we know. And I think it's time to sort of break down those ideas that you hold for yourself. And this is a great time in the past 10 years. There's been so much awareness in the world about who we are, how we are, why we operate. And I think it's time to go back and say, at what point did we decide not to be children? And I think that observation for me, being a mother, was very simple. It never occurs to the child that they can't do this. They keep trying to defy physics and say, why does he keep doing that? It's not going to happen. And you sit back and you say, he's questioning why it's happening. And I think it's important to question why you feel it's not so. And it's important to understand that not everything will come at a time that you expect it to. And give yourself that freedom to say it'll come and I'm going to keep this passion alive.
So now I talk to a lot of people, of course, off the camera, and a lot of people are either they're scared of failing or they think they don't know what people are going to say if I fail. So these are two things which really stop a lot of people. I don't know what has been your experience.
Failure is not an option. But no, honestly, that thought naturally doesn't come to me. You know how they talk about, are you a risk taker or are you risk averse? I'm a risk taker because what I'm very confident about is in my ability to find the resources to solve the problem.
Excellent. Now, before I let you go, let's talk about your Arangetram. Tell us the date when it is and where it is and
sure.
And what you plan to perform there.
Yes, for sure. It's on November 12th, 2023. It's going to be at the Littleton High School in Littleton, Massachusetts. What I'm going to perform is what we call in Bharatanatyam as a margam. It's a set of 8 or 9 pieces that are curated. I'm very fortunate to find tutelage under Jayashree Rajamani from Lexington. She is a friend and a fantastic dancer and a teacher. And she and I have worked on a set of dances that spoke to me, that, she and I decided would be the best portrayal of me as an artist. And I think the pieces are a culmination of love, of showing Advaita, duality, and through a piece, and also bhakti, a devotion, saying that, everything is possible if you kind of hold on to that one truth. And that one truth can be any truth for you. It could be just love. It could be learning. It could be your family. But I think it also brings, it speaks to me, most of these pieces, because they speak of, these are all roles you play. They're not you. So I'm very excited to present it, and I hope I'll have an enthusiastic audience.
Excellent. Yeah. Hema, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
And
yes.
I always get inspired when I see people following their passion, whatever it is. So I'm really glad, and all the best for your Arangetram.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you.